Hey guys, my name is Kyra. I'm Miss Katherine's niece, and she asked me to show you how to do some string art. This is a picture of what we are trying to make today. Okay? And what you're going to need for this project are 5 to 6 different strings. I'm using crochet thread. You can really use regular thread that you can use for sewing, or you can go all the way up to yarn. It really depends on what you like. So for this project, I'm going to be using a dark pink, a light pink, white for the middle, dark blue, and a purple. You also want to have some nails that are about 1 inch that have long and have about that long and have a pretty small tip. Okay. You also need a hammer, a wood board that you plan on using. You can paint this, or I stained it with wood stain. And also, well, tape, a hammer, and you also want a template. For all the projects I've done before, I printed something off on the computer, but since my printer is not working right now, I decided to just draw on there a picture or a little template for me. So what you're going to want to do is tape down the template on your board wherever you want it. Okay. I'm choosing, you can use a different size board. Mine is 11 by 13 inches, but however big you want your project to be. Okay, so now we have to start the nailing. And for you younger viewers, if you're probably going to want to have an older person, like an older sibling or your parents, help you with this so you don't smash your fingers. So what you're going to want to do is you want to put it on the line of your either printed out template or you're drawn on. I drew dots on mine just to see how to do it, or where I wanted vaguely to put them. So you want to put that one right at the top of the thing, and you want to just hammer it down. You don't need it so far down, but you also don't want it sticking very high up. So you can see that I didn't put it so far up. It's not very far in there, but it's also not going to fall out. Okay. So you're just going to want to do that all the way around.
Going.
Okay, so by now I've gotten pretty far. You don't want your nails to be too far apart, but you also don't want them too close. I'm just finishing off the going around part. Alright, so now we have to do the middle. You just want to do one in a straight line. You want to start pretty much at the bottom of where you want your thing to end, your feather to end. And then you also just want to put it a pretty decent width apart, maybe half an inch, because there is only going to be one thread that's going across, and it's easier if there's just less nails. Pause. Alright, so now I am pretty much done nailing. Okay, so we don't need those nails anymore. If you want to, you can hammer down some of the nails that are too tall for your liking. I think mine are pretty good. It's okay if they are different levels of tallness. because then it gives it a wave of like 3D. Alright, so now we need to start the fun part. Oh wait, now we have to tear off the template. Okay, so this is pretty fun. Just be careful not to take any of the nails out, which shouldn't happen. It's okay if your paper comes out in pieces, because mine usually does, especially if it's a harder piece. Alright, there. Now that's all done. Now we can actually start the fun part. See how that looks? Okay. Now we start the fun part. For the top, because it is the way it is, we are going to start by tying a knot 4 or 5 nails down. So you want to just tie a knot. You can double knot it if you want. It's probably just going to stay, but I usually like to, just so it doesn't get away from me, because it's a start. For every time you start a different color, you're going to want to tie a knot for each color. Alright, so what we're going to do, you can leave these tails behind. We're going to cut them off later, unless you feel like doing them now. That's fine. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to wrap around this first nail. Come up top, Max. You want to start right here on this first nail. You want to wrap it around and come around twice. Okay, and then when you go again, you want to come up to this nail, the next one, like that. And then you want to just keep wrapping it around. You can push this down a bit if you want, so it's easier. You don't have to wrap it around twice if you don't feel like it, but that's up to you if you want a thicker color. Okay. And you're going to do that all the way up to your 4th or 5th nail down, however you want it to look. And you can push down your thread down here if it's getting too much and too thick. Alright, I'm gonna do one more. Okay, there. And then you're gonna want to tie it off up here. Max, can you get me a thread or scissors?
Okay.
You're going to want to tie it so you can put it on right there. Yeah. Okay. If these scissors were good. Okay, so by now I've finished all the color part, and it should look something like this. Alright, and now we have to do the middle part. This part is fairly easy. So what I've done is tied a knot around the bottom nail with a white or black or whatever color you want. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have the string follow the line all the way up there. So you want to make sure it stays on this side of it. And if it's a little curvy, like you see here, I've put it around that nail because it is a curvy line kind of. So I put it around there just to make sure that it stayed where I wanted it to be. Okay. Like here. Gonna have to go around it again. Alright. So now I have This is for all other projects, you want to do this first. Like if you were to do a heart, you want to trace around the outside of the heart first. But you just didn't with this one because you don't want an outline like it did before. Alright, so now you want to do a figure 8 motion. So what you're going to want to do is, so you got here and then you just want to keep going back and forth between the nails. And you can do this a couple of times to get whatever thickness you want. If you do it a few times, you're going to want to go the opposite direction that you did. See? Okay, so now that I ended on that side, I'm going to go around this way. Like so. Okay. Okay, like that. And you can do this how many times you want to get the thickness that you want. And there you go. You can do how many you want. You cut it off, and there you go. You can hook it. You can hang. So you can find something at Home Depot that is like a screw and a screw and a string that you can hang on your wall. You can have it sit on something, whatever you want. So there you go. There are so many other projects you can do on Pinterest, and you can just look online too.